Ready, Rose?
We up.
Ready down there? Good, Craig. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are great at your jobs, brother. This is all passion.
Passion?
It's all passion. We ain't get no money. All passion.
That's hilarious.
Oh, look at the get money dude. Y'all do it for love? What? I do it for love. I'm just fucking with you. I saw you directed. You did it for love because it's a whole thing. All right, we ready? All right, MoreThanCULTR is the brand. It's a new segment, brother. It's a new show, whole new thing. More than laughs, man. We going around to get the comedians that come in town. We tired of all these creators and comedians coming in town. They don't have much time. We will get them and pop them in right quick and let them know who you need to be looking at, man. It's all kind of creators and innovators. We got my boy Kamal Secret. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm great, man. Just happy to be here. Another episode of More Than Last. We're going to have to stop calling it new. It's just like the fourth episode. It ain't that new no more.
It's not new. It is not. Thank you, Kamal.
You know what I'm saying?
Production.
That's what I'm here for.
Boom. All right, man. We have this brother right here, man. Creator, director, fucking comedian, just all around. He makes songs and shit. Like this motherfucker's just a joy. He was my director. He was my director for 2 days. We got Patrick Cloud in the building.
Hello, man. Oh man.
How you doing, brother?
Thanks for having me, man. This is so cool.
Come on, dog.
You call this the layer?
This is the layer, man. Shout out to the
This is
Eastside
tighter.
Stoners, man. Stoner Brown.
I like
Eastside
it.
Stoners. They
Eastside
provide a
Stoners.
safe space for black men to cuss and smoke weed.
It's dope.
Yeah.
Y'all can't see it, but there's like rafters in here.
Nice.
They're really dope. Kind of scary,
Yeah. little danger.
but exciting.
Little danger helps everything.
I like,
it's like
it's
lemon
cool.
pepper.
It's cool.
Just a sprinkle of
Just-
danger.
And I'm like
sprinkles.
by far the smallest nigga in this room too, so keeps you on your toes.
Can I have a nice evening with danger sprinkles? So, Patrick, how do you pick from directing, acting, stand up? What was your first thing you did? What was your first passion?
Man, I fell into so many things just because I like trying stuff. So I've always loved stand up. So I did that first. I did that throughout college. I went to CSUN and we had like an underground arcade that had like pizza night, and they did stand up comedy there.
Where's that school?
CSUN, Cal State Northridge.
Okay, cool.
It's in Los Angeles, but it's like in the valley. Yeah, I went there for music, but I was used to like gigging with like a band and how we would be in the green room talking about songs and like working on songs and stuff. And then I fell in love with stand up because I saw comedians talking about jokes, how musicians talk about songs. So I did stand up just to like hang out with them and see how that works.
Oh, that's hard.
Not to really like, I never really had like stand up dreams, but I like doing it because now I work with a lot of stand up comedians and I know how to like talk to them and I know how to like do it, you know. So same with acting. I'm not really an actor, but I took acting classes and I act so I can direct better.
Come on, man. Your directing skills, man. Like, how do you come in town and capture the essence of a city? Because we just finished shooting Kamal's alma mater, actually, Clark Atlanta University.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, alma mater-ish.
Yeah. He was up there.
Yeah.
Were you in a fraternity?
Negative. I was not in a fraternity.
Why not?
It's just not really my thing. No reason. A lot of my good friends are.
Same shit, brother.
But it just wasn't really my scene.
I don't like the match niggas.
Like the colorway?
I don't like that shit.
Everybody
like
got the same colors on. That's funny as hell.
It's bothering.
I be saying, because I was never in a fraternity either, but I also went to a white school, and I think that the whole fun part is to be in a black fraternity. And there were black fraternities, and I'd be like,
you know, you can hang with the niggas without joining.
If I went to a white school, I might have joined a fraternity.
Right.
At a white school.
Why?
A black fraternity. I don't know.
oh, safety?
No, I don't know. Just a little, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, but yeah, I never felt the urge.
I'd be playing rebel
HBCU.
when it comes to fraternity and be like, oh, I wouldn't do that. You know, it was money, blah 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 blah. But no one asked.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember Rush Week. I remember I don't know what the fraternity version of that. They were all out there. No, I don't.
Like
I didn't get the chance to say no.
And
Maybe I wanted to say no.
at white schools, it's a week. You know what I'm saying? At black schools, that shit is in an indeterminate amount of time.
No, what it is.
I know niggas that was online for like 6 semesters straight.
And it's a secret. It's a goddamn secret.
And
Well-
motherfuckers disappear.
Really though, the big thing for me that was the main reason that it was no is the hazing. Like I was hearing wild shit. Like they'll send you out to get tacos at 3 a.m. or they'll make you get naked and streak across or they'll like paddle you. And I'm like, and then you got to be friends with these niggas. Like,
Right, I can't.
nah.
That's why I was like, I don't know if I can pay you $600 and you slap me across the
And
chest.
then the money. Yeah, but I mean, you know, shout out to fraternities and sororities. It's great.
I get it, but yeah, I'm cool.
I like the dancing,
I
strolling.
saw Bernie Sanders
like
too, and I was
the
like,
dancing.
wow.
Hmm?
I saw Bernie Sanders, that movie. Well, they showed kind of a little bit. It was like a big deal.
I'm not the nigga to ask about
It
movies.
was on Netflix. It was called Bernie Sanders. It showed.
I thought you said Bernie Sanders. Look.
No, Bernie Sanders.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders, HBCU fraternity expert.
Really stand-up comedians. I've never like. This is tight. It's like a handheld mic.
The little shit that get people who do productions like, what? I'm usually under the shirt with the tape.
I'm on stage. Yeah.
Shout out to the mic man. It's funny now because Mike dudes walk up, you good? You want me to? I'm like, nah, get here, nigga. When you do TV, they don't care. They get right. The white people don't ask. They're just like, it's time to get my hey, nigga. I'll move my titty.
Do they ever like ask you to like?
Yeah, they just be like, you know, where you want it. Pause. So, like, how do you?
Oh, I never answered your question, huh?
Yeah, you did, but it's fine.
The question was, how do you capture a city?
How do you capture somebody's like town and their school? Like people hold that shit sacred. Like I don't know when you find out it is a big deal. Like when the alumni don't play, they don't fuck around.
Yeah.
So
I was lucky enough to.
what I said.
God, I just love how Ronnie asks questions and does it the first opportunity. He's about to do it again, but he caught himself.
Oh
It
yeah.
was a good job. Good job.
noticed.
I'm sorry.
I
Yeah, but I would just say that, you know, I was lucky enough to direct a bunch of shows that kind of like taught me authenticity, and I feel like being a good director is kind of like letting it's letting people do their own thing. You know, a lot of directors are like, they think like, oh, I'm directing, so I have to like control everything and tell people what to do, and it's like they don't really let people do what they do. It's not really collaborative. So when I got to do things like Roast Me, which was essentially like just kind of like my whole thing is nostalgia. Everything I do has to do with nostalgia in some way. So when I thought of like people getting roasted in class, people getting roasted in lunch tables, I knew that there was not a strict format that you can follow and be authentic. You have to just set the scene for them to do their own thing and then step out the way. So that's basically what we did out here. You know, we learned about the culture. We came out here early and looked at it and did our own tours and our own research. My producer, Denzel Lee Extraordinaire, is over there in the corner. He set up everything. So we basically got to see what it was at first, and then we got to, you know, cast the people we thought were perfect for it and let them do their own thing. That's when people are like, oh, it's so authentic. It's like, yeah, because I didn't be like, you say this and then do this and then we do this and then we do this. You kind of just let it go. So, yeah.
I like that. I was watching, man. I was like, oh, he directed. You know, you gotta, you know, sometimes you like people like pull up and shoot. You know, it's like, nah, they got a plan. They got shots they got to get. So, like, how do you do how do you adjust when shit don't go as planned? As we saw, like some stuff happened, but you didn't panic. You were just like, all right, let's do it this way, or you know what I'm saying?
Well, luckily, me and DZ are from the burials of the internet. Like All Def we consider that like the slums of production. So seriously, like we've had
now though, y'all are like
no now, but like we still haven't even gotten out of that mind state. Like we used to shoot in a garage on a main street where we had to hold for trucks and just like no budget, doing a million things at once. So,
but that expands your skill set, though.
Absolutely, because we had people that we worked with that went to big schools, big production schools in Hollywood, and got these big, like, fancy degrees and stuff, and they didn't know how to do a set without a trailer on, without the money for all these crazy things. They didn't know how to do that.
Like, what? I'm crafty.
And that's where we were. It's like how Bane be like, I was born in the darkness and shit. Like we were like, that's how we started. So anything, that goes relatively right, we're okay. And so I think that it's really just about remaining loose. I'm a Plan Z type of person, so I basically, the show that we shot, I formatted in a way where if we had to cut a scene or trim something or anything, no one would notice. It's nothing that was like straightforward, because I knew that we would I knew we might fall into problems, like the best thing that someone ever told me is that, like, when I first started producing, I would be like bright-eyed and bushy-eyed. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd be like, I hope everything goes perfectly, and then when one thing goes wrong, the script's out the window. But I always budget like 30% like chaos. So when it comes to like something, I'll format it ahead of time, so the format was already working. But then after things kind of went shaky on the Scout, the night before the first shoot, I pretty much reformatted the whole thing to remember the voiceovers that we did? Yeah. That was supposed to be a little bit different. I pretty much made that the connecting tissue throughout the whole show, so that if anything was replaced, it was we wouldn't need a show, we would need a voice. So it was really just like planning ahead and just like being loose.
That's dope. Could you talk about like how Roast Me started? Because I heard it was just like in the break room at All Deaf or something like.
That was cool as hell, huh?
That was real dope. You gotta.
They offered me a lighter, but I wanted. I wanted this.
Light them if you got them. Shit.
So Roast Me started because we have the stars of the channel at the time were the really funny comedians Teddy Ray and Doughboy, and their dynamic was roasting, right? They always made fun of each other. It always made the whole office laugh. So that was like my first demo. Like, oh, the white editors are. I always tested things on the editors because they were like the only white people in the building. So if they laughed, it was like, oh, this is funny. So I always got a big reaction. Tahir Moore then joined the cast, and he was from St. Louis, so he was roasting them. And then we started filming it, and like these little clips started going viral. We did like, and then Tony Hinchcliffe came through and roasted everybody, and that went viral. And then I did like an old people roast for the first time. We were really like in the roast because it was just getting popular on the channel. And then our CEO at the time said, okay, we need a roast series. And I'm talking to these people that are interested in game shows, so we need a game show series. So I was like, all right, what about a roasting game show? I'll knock two birds out with one stone. Yeah. And the first thing I made was whack as hell. It was like a game show, so it was like a rotating spit, like you know what I mean? It was like spinning, and
it was funny though. I liked it.
You basically had to wait your turn with the roast hand for structure, right? Because it's hard to make a game, and they call on you, and then you throw out a joke, and it maybe works, maybe doesn't. So we did that, and that was my first big production. They gave me $35,000 for a budget, and I thought that was like, oh, I could do anything. And I was producing and directing, so I had to do everything. I had to book the studio. It was like this old nuts and bolts factory. I set up a meeting with the set designers and designed this ugly set. Oh my God, it looked like Doritos in the back, but it was like we were supposed to be in hell, right? Then, I booked it for 3 days. For some reason, the ACs were broken just on those 3 days, and it just so happened to be 90 degrees those 3 days, but every other day was 60, 70.
Oh, man.
So it was a hot, sweaty. I went to the Home Depot with the set designers, picked out the wood. I spent the day there building the set with them. The second day was cameras. We got them in. They marked off all the cameras. And then the third day, we had to shoot 9 episodes in one day because that's how many episodes I had to stretch it to make the budget work, right? So my dumbass was like, all right, it's hot, sweaty, 98 degrees. Let me try to force these niggas to be funny for 9 episodes straight, right? Jesus. And
Jeez.
I didn't know anything because I had to do everything. So I had to pick up all the camera equipment. I had to pick up all the stuff, drop it off. I had to deal with Crafty, which I realized I was trash at. I was so bad at Crafty, the camera team walked out on me and went and got breakfast burritos and just charged it to the card. The most disrespectful shit.
You vegan, Patrick, so motherfuckers don't be wanting that shit.
It was deserved, but I'll never work with them niggas again.
It's real beef out here. Burritos.
But get this. Imagine I invite you. You have 9 episodes that day. It's hot as hell, and like I'm being a warlord. I'm not letting anybody laugh on set. If anybody laughs, I'm like, shut up. And everybody's sweating, and I'm just like, all right, keep going until the next big laugh. And it was just like, nigga, it was just horrible. And it was bad, man. Like I packed up the truck. I had to return everything that night, and I fucking cried. I was broke because I put everything into it. I was like, nigga, this shit is whack. Yeah. So I was just like, man, my first big chance busted. And what was cool about it was it was a big production, so I had to market it, right? So the marketing of it was we just got all the best roasters from the season, put them in the break room. I went live on my phone, and I put the hot seat over here, and I just let them go. And I was just kind of catching everything. And everybody was like, what's this? This is tight, right? And we were getting maybe 100K every time we went live.
It was 100,000 people watching y'all on live? This is on
100,000 views, not 100,000 people.
Okay.
It's not usually.
This is on Facebook at the time?
Facebook Live, yeah, and that was like a big push for us.
Facebook Live first kind of dropped, right?
Yep. So that same year we got into gaming that same way. But with Roast Me, everybody was like, "This is dope." So we had a whole summer of promoting this shit, and then the first episode dropped, and everybody was like,
This is it.
This is not the break.
Where's the other shit?
But luckily, my marketing did so well. The first episode did maybe 500,000 views. So it wasn't enough. It was still good enough for them to be like, Right. But as the episodes went along, they're like, this is too much. And I learned in the marketing that the loose. I was basically just chipping away at the rules. And then it became, long story short, the next season we were in the break room. And then the next season was the classroom. That's when I built the class. And that's when it really opened up because it was structured. It was chaos, but it was structured chaos. And then we had highlight clips. That's what really did it. We didn't have our episodes were 20 minutes. Nothing 20 minutes long goes viral, but it was the clips that were doing crazy millions on Facebook. And then just from there we kind of grew it, and the rules from the first one were dead immediately.
That's dope. So what have you learned from doing that first Roast Me to that when we finally got to Atlanta? Because when y'all got here, we was ready. It was like, oh shit, we was excited, but it's another format for us. But what I'm saying, I'm sure you had production down packed by the time you got here, right?
No. But I think that's why I'm a good director, because technically I didn't go to school. I'm not about to sit there and argue with the cinematographer who knows everything about a camera about what's the best composition of the shot, Right. I lean into what people do best. I'm not going to argue with you about a joke. That's why we got you. So I think it was me being able, and I'm really I'm willing to learn. My first time on set, I've had every job on set. I started as a PA, I did light, I did sound, I did everything. So my first time on set as a PA, I didn't know any of the terms. The director was like, go get a Kino and a Stinger. And I was like, bet. And I would walk 5 steps and Google. And I'd be like, this nigga did not mean an extension cord. There's no way. But I was literally learning like that. So I came into it really humble, as opposed to somebody who came straight out of school and they're like, I deserve to be doing this, and this.
Right.
So when it comes to what we're shooting this last 3 days, we should not be shooting this. With Hyundai, we should be shooting something that we shot 1,000,000 times. But me and Denzel rolled the dice on the last 2 Hyundai campaigns, which are our biggest one ever. We never did any of those before. We're just doing new stuff on somebody else's dollar.
That's the best way to try shit out.
Right, but I mean, if it failed,
it's not gonna fail.
But no, absolutely not. But I mean, it's better than, I don't know. I don't know. You've been to dad jokes. You've been on dad jokes. It's very at this point it's very mechanical. We've got it so far down, like it's mechanical.
Watch it, the people own it. Like it's something different to do something for the first time, and then it's something different to watch it for a couple of years and then just jump on there. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
right. But it's like it's also like dad jokes. Very very inexpensive show, which is why we got to keep doing it. So if you think of it like this, it costs this table, these mics, and y'all,
Right.
and the camera. You know, so. You could have a brand deal for $10,000. You could have a brand deal for $300,000, but it would still be this. So if you telling me like, all right, brand deal for $10K, dad jokes, and then brand deal for $300K, dad jokes, it's like, can I do something cool? Like, because we're not seeing that $300K. It's the company. So can we at least use that money to make something cooler and more challenging? So I think that's really what it is. We're just, if the brand deals get bigger, we just want to prove we can do bigger stuff.
That's dope.
Yeah.
How do you manage like having the talent as your friends and stuff like that? And you know, talent. We want more money. We want this. We want that. We want, and then you're talent too. So like you can roast better than a lot of these motherfuckers. So like, do you roast niggas when they want more money? Like, shit.
Do you?
No. I mean, I try to. It's rough because it's not my company, so it's like I don't really fall out with comedians, but it's like if because I've always been just creative, so it's like I'm not in charge of the money, so it's like I just want people to be on and be good and have this shit do well. So there have been issues where like people have put in a lot of work in the company and think they deserve more money, and either they go up to the higher ups and it doesn't happen, or it does happen, but then our budgets can't afford them on the regular like they used to. So they'll kind of like stop working with All Def, or just have a bad taste in their mouth with All Def, and they don't necessarily hate me, but I'm kind of just caught in the middle of it. So that happens a lot, and I think that I don't know. I just try to be cool about it, but at the end of the day, like as a director and as a producer, you just got to think of it different. I feel like you can't just be out here just hoping everybody's gonna be like super friendly and super cool with you, because it comes with a lot. And it's kind of cool because there are newer producers on All Def who would call me and ask the same question, how to manage that, because they would maybe go from a position where they were talent and they saw people talent to talent, but then when they became a producer, the relationship changed in certain ways, and things started acting a little bit different. And I get it, because you're in charge of somebody's potential livelihood, not in charge, but you can help,
Right. So
it's hard to manage. I will admit that in my earlier days, I was like trying to be friends with everybody because I thought that was how it worked. Right. But it ain't.
My producer technique, like if somebody wants more money, because y'all want me to produce some stuff, and be like, that's all they got, my boy.
But it's my boy. It ain't what you said. It's my boy. That's the part that makes you want to be like, man, this nigga's telling the truth.
They really ain't really paying me like that for real.
That was a big part of early All Def too. Everybody thought that they was getting whatever, and I was getting crazy amounts. Especially when Roast Me went behind a paywall. Niggas thought I made that decision, and this shit was going to my PayPal.
Was mad and a bitch.
Niggas thought that shit was going to my PayPal. Like, nigga, what?
Y'all made some foes upset.
That was not my idea. I wanted it to be free.
Man, no. Shit. I'm glad we on some new shit, and
Yeah.
But shit, man, I appreciate you, bro. Because look, you the shit I had to see you go through. I don't know how you protect your mentals. How you protect your mental health, bro? Because I don't like to talk to that many adults about shit all the time. You see what I'm saying?
I actually just started talking about this a lot because I think it's actually pretty important. I feel like when us in the entertainment industry, it's kind of like we always stressed out about like what we got to be doing, especially if you freelance. It's like, what we doing next? What we working on? Type of shit. And I feel like we don't really let ourselves relax And when we do, we be like mean as hell to ourselves. We be like watching Netflix, just trying to watch something. And the whole time in your head, you like, why you ain't doing this? Why you ain't doing that? You slipping on this, blah, blah, blah. You ain't done this yet. And we just be like hella aggressive towards ourselves. So I've just learned how to kind of like let myself relax, even if it's like horrifying. You know, like I'll be like, man, this like it's like video games, catching up on certain shows, and like maybe music. I'll just like let myself do that and not punish myself for fucking resetting, because I think that's more important than working yourself. Because the other thing is that if you just keep working yourself too much, your content is going to suffer in some way, you know. Right. So you might as well take the reset.
Because it looks like you're doing a lot of shit. Because your Instagram never lacks. Your Twitter, all that shit is in line, and then you're doing all this other shit. So I'm like, motherfuckers ask me 3 times about the same video. I'd be like, bro, I don't want to do that shit no more, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? We need more of these. I'd be like, dog, you know, so how do you keep up with all that shit? You got a lot of shit.
I'm not really organized, honestly. Like, I low-key, like, I don't know, it's like falling downstairs while juggling. Like, you just kind of you kind of just like trying to,
don't die.
You know what I mean? It's happening right now, but I fall immediately. So like, you know, for instance, I categorize things and shit that I have to do, you know, where there's a consequence if I don't do it. Things that I have to do, but there's not a consequence, and things that I just kind of like feel like, you know what I mean? Like what I have to do is like, you know, like the stuff for All Def, you know, the turning in director notes and edits and stuff like that, podcasts that are due every single week. You have to perform every single week. And then there's stuff that you like have to do, but you don't like have to do, like YouTube videos and stuff. That's like actually my primary source of income, like videos and stuff. But it's like if I don't have a video go up, it's like there's not a consequence, but it's still you have to, because that's right. You have to keep it up. And that's stuff that like I feel like doing, like Twitch streaming or music. Like that's stuff that makes money, but it's like it's kind of just like more of a thing. Like I'm not gonna do music if I don't feel like it, and I'm not gonna stream if I don't feel like it. So I think it's just kind of like separating those things. But I still slip. Like I have a merch line, and then I'll look up and be like, oh shit, I haven't promoted in 2 weeks, you know, right. Because I was doing all this other stuff. So it's really just like finding the flow, because at this point I like doing so many of these things that I'll just do them naturally, you know. But I'm not very organized at all.
That's dope, man. I just sit back and watch like, how the fuck does he do all this shit and still do his own stuff? So it's amazing.
It's fun though. It's fun. It helps that I'm behind the camera too.
You don't have no kids, do you?
No.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that helps.
That shit dead, my boy. You had a baby, that shit dead, my boy.
Shit changes everything.
As soon as you get that baby, boy, you out of here. You gonna be like, I'm a director.
I honestly, yeah, I don't really see that fitting in my schedule with all this other stuff. But I mean, people do it.
Money, Kamal, you hear me? The niggas who don't want kids and the wife be like, for what?
Man, it's freedom.
For what?
Marriage is like the worst contract ever.
Look at the 2 married niggas' faces.
Yeah. Marriage is amazing, man. It's great.
It is lovely. It's a lovely union.
It needs to be. It's a contract that needs to be updated.
I told somebody that shit today. I said, honestly, you could just live with a motherfucker the whole time if you want to be with somebody. Like, you don't have to sign shit. You could have just.
I was just on a podcast talking about how marriage started as started with like a business thing, you know, like families would marry their people off to like stay in royalty or get land and shit. And then like somehow we've crammed love into that. You know what I mean? And it's like, I asked, if marriage is pretty much a contract that was written a long ass time ago that never got like its iOS update. So like, if you think of it as like a business, like would you sign an acting deal or a stand-up deal that was written in like the 1600s? Or would you be like, yeah, we need to update some of these terms. Some things have changed. y'all both married. I don't know. I'm trying to like I'm trying to get y'all on my side or something.
It's been great talking to Pat.
My bad.
Pretty locked in.
I'm just fucking with you, dog. But shit, man.
Not bad.
What games you on right now? What games you playing?